The reason why we're here, obviously you've signed, congratulations, you've signed a new 3-year contract. You must be delighted.
Yeah, really happy about it. I've said all along, people, give me questions all the time about what's going on, when's it going to be signed, and I've always been quite calm about it. I think having that attachment, that trust, and that belief within the club is really important, and I think we've certainly got that. So that's what gives me the great feeling, and still the feeling that I had when I walked through the door, that this is a good place for me to be, and for all of us to work together, really. So it feels like it's a big step in terms of, as a headline, as a statement, but really it doesn't change anything I do or how I approach it. It just kind of carries on what we're trying to achieve, really.
You've used the phrase a lot about it being the right club. What is it that makes it? What's made it the right place for you, the right club for you? Do you think?
I think there's something about your gut and your instinct and your feeling, really. I don't really know what that is. I don't know. We all get it at some point, and you feel good in certain situations. I'd say comfortable in some ways, but not comfortable as in relaxed, comfortable where this is nice, we can all sit back and have a nice time. There's a comfort in knowing and trusting people. I think I'm really big on having people around you that you trust, and being in it for the right reasons. So that gives you a comfort in a way, knowing that we're in it together, and an understanding, really, and being from the northeast, growing up in the northeast, and there's certainly a big attachment there from me, and it just fits, for whatever reason it fits, and we've done all right so far. We certainly want more of it. And we want to keep improving, so it's exciting.
I mean, a new contract, it shows there's a lot of alignment in there between everyone at the football club.
Yeah, I think it's so important, and for me that means an awful lot. Everyone's different, everyone's different in terms of what they want to achieve, how they want to go about it, what they think will bring them success, whether that's coaches, players, or ultimately the hierarchy of the club, whether it's owners or. But for me, I think an alignment and an understanding. I like working with people, and I like feeding off people and working together, really. And we've certainly got that. We've got a good trust, which is built up over time, but pretty much was there straight away. And hopefully that comes across on how we work and how consistent we've been through the ups and downs, really. And there's going to be ups and downs again this season. Hopefully a lot more ups, and but nevertheless gone through the downs and the challenges that we faced. That only, if anything, enhances the trust and the belief that we're on the right track.
You played most of your career, if not all, in the Premier League. You've been a Championship manager now for, we're going on towards 2 years in November. What do you make of the league?
Yeah, well, I had a year in it with West Ham when we come down out of the Premier League, and I was 21 at the time. And it's obviously, I know football's changed an awful lot since then anyway, but the leagues, it's a totally different league, type of league, feeling within the league. And I think even since the time that I started at the club, I think the league's changed quite a bit in terms of the style, the quality and the type of football and the teams that you're coming up against. I think a bit more possession, a bit more quality, a bit more tactical, a little bit more higher level in general, really, for whatever reason, players, coaches, managers, whatever that may be. So yeah, I think it's certainly changed in a good way since I've been here in the last couple of years or so, and it's a totally different ball game from when I played in it all them years ago.
You look at your Premier League clubs that come down, and there's obviously all the talk about the money and what have you that they have. If you put the finances to one side, in terms of sort of your own ethos, how can a club like Middlesbrough compete with some of these clubs with the money they've got, the players that they can bring in?
You've just got to find ways. I think there's enough teams over the years who have had success from maybe less resources or less players to choose from, or whatever, less money, or whatever it may be. There's enough teams over the years that have still had success in all different leagues. I think you've got to find a way. Ultimately, money doesn't necessarily bring you success. I think we've seen that in all different ways in different leagues. Yeah, it helps. It certainly helps, and the club and Steve especially is trying to do all he can, and which he has done from day one, really. And keeps pushing and keeps having that drive to try and give us the best that he can give us. So, but then it's up to us. I see it as a good challenge, the coaching side, the dynamics of the team, working together with the team and bringing the best. Listen, at the end of the day, it's bringing out the best in the players and shaping the squad. So there's a unity, there's a togetherness, and then the quality on top of how we want to play and how we want to go about it. So I do feel we're moving in a good direction in that regard.
And I mean, you talked about the squad there. Last summer's obviously quite a rebuild in terms of the amount that come in. What are we looking at this summer?
I think we've certainly got a settled squad. I think the nucleus of that, obviously bringing Luke in last week and finalising that was a big boost for us all. I think the impact that he had towards the end of the season, and ultimately in the end, it's balancing the squad. From having really good, solid top senior players. I'm really big on that. I've been fortunate enough through my career from the start and progressing through as a player to understand how much influence that can have within the dressing room. You need the hungry, young, talented players that are up and coming, excite people, fresh, looking to achieve and develop in the game. And there's a little bit in the middle, really. So of lads maybe more in the peak years or coming into the peak years and with a bit more experience. But so yeah, ultimately in the end it takes a bit of everything, and I feel probably with a run towards the end of the season, even though we still had a big number of the boys missing, I think what gives me a lot of confidence is the setbacks that were faced, and seeing the boys how they reacted to that, most importantly. The club as a whole and the supporters, but actually seeing the boys go through that sample. We've had some really good runs, we've had a couple of challenging runs, and we've been consistent with that. So in the end, that gives us a lot of confidence, knowing that we can go through those situations and come out stronger, and we've got the nucleus of that moving forward. And yeah, we need to put little bits here and there to try and enhance and freshen things up to a point, but I think we're in a good place to move forward.
I mean, you never complained about injuries once last season, and I mean there were times when we had 11, 12 near starters, if you like, all out. What you did, you described it as an opportunity for others. In a sort of backhanded way, do you feel that that's probably benefited players that might not have otherwise got an opportunity?
Yeah, 100%, and I think that's why I probably feel in a stronger position and a bit more stable, really, in terms of moving forward, because as players that maybe got more game time or opportunities or broke through or whatever it may be, that they might not have had that opportunity. So I was really conscious of that. I think we've learned a lot going over the last 6 to 9 months that's going to really benefit us, and the players as well themselves coming back for pre-season feeling maybe they were more established or they feel part of the team where they didn't before. So it's I think we've got a better blend now.
So we're sat here in June now, contract signed. We've already brought Luke Ayling in. What does Michael Carrick do when there's no football for 5 or 6 weeks?
Enjoy the sunshine here. That's meant to be here. No, listen. Obviously, I live. My family's based in Manchester because of the kids the age that they are, and exams and school years and all sorts of different things. So it's nice for me to get back and spend time with the family. It's important to me. So switch off a little bit. Never really switch off totally, to be honest, in terms of what can we do moving forward, who can we bring in, what's the squad look like, what's the next season going to look like. So there's always that going through your mind, but to come home and spend some time with the family is really important to me, and switch off as much as I can.
Back to Rockcliffe towards the end of the month. What's awaiting the players when they come back?
Yeah, well, again, I think the boys as a group have pretty much all done the pre-season with us. We had the pre-season last year, which was our first one, coming in the October before that. So we've gone through a pre-season. It's pretty consistent, really. It's the boys understand, know what's expected, how we work. I think we've had a good break this year. It was a shorter break because of the playoffs last season, and can a little bit destabilise you at times in terms of timings. But this year they've had a really good break, the boys, enough to switch off, recharge, and then actually to get fit again. So yeah, we've pre-season's all planned. We're all looking forward to it. Pretty calm with things, and got a week in Portugal, which would be nice to go and train and focus the boys, and then come back and get into the games really, and then look forward to the start of the season, because it feels a long way away at the minute, but it does come around pretty quick.
You say pre-season's planned. I mean, this is a lot of people won't actually realise this, but when you say pre-season's planned, even now there is a document which details when they're training every single day right up to the first game of the season. There's so much prep work goes into this, isn't there?
Yeah, again, everyone's different, you know. Some people work different, some people plan a little bit later. I always like to be in control in terms of knowing what's coming, and trying to make sure that we're planning ahead really, and we do it the best way we can. So yeah, pre-season in terms of the games is all planned. The schedule, the players will have had the schedule for the whole of the pre-season, so they know what it looks like when we're training, when we're not in, when we're away, what that looks like. And within the group and the coaches and the backroom staff in terms of fitness, sports science, medical, you know, we know what the sessions look like for the first couple of weeks, definitely, if that's all planned. So we can go back with a bit of a calmness, knowing that we're not. I think it's important that when you go back pre-season that there's a calmness, and you work your way back into it, and the boys feel that's normal, and they go back, and it's not any different to what it feels like during the season.
Season tickets have sold exceptionally well. How important are the fans at the Riverside?
For me, I think it's massive, you know, especially at home when you've got that the possibility of having an advantage. You know, we've got to capitalise on that in terms of the supporters and the energy and the support that we can create within the stadium. That comes from us, the performances and the energy we create through exciting football or how we play, but certainly for the supporters to feed that back. And there's going to be times when it's a bit sticky and it looks a bit challenging. If anything, that's the time the supporters, we really need them the most then, and to get behind us and create that noise, and that comes through hopefully from trust that we've built up. And you know, home form, yeah, it can be important. Points are important wherever we get them, but our away fans have been incredible in terms of.
Have they surprised you, the numbers that we take away?
Yeah, it has surprised me, to be honest. I think, and it's important we don't take that for granted, you know, as certainly as me, as coaches, and as the players, that we don't take that. That's normal, you know. A lot of clubs don't have that in that position to be able to take so many fans away and travel so much, and especially last season we've done a lot of travelling. So cup competitions midweek it was incredible, the support we had. So that gives us motivation and drive to there's a lot of people care about us, and we can kind of influence and have a big impact on people's lives, you know. So it's yeah, of course, the Riverside, you know, let's create something there, let's kick on another level there, let's get the atmosphere even better and our performances even better, and try and keep rolling with that momentum.
I mean, you touched on it there, and someone said it on the video that you watched right at the start. You understand what the football club and how much it means to the people of the area.
I don't think we should ever forget that, you know, the emotion, the passion, the commitment people make, and how much it impacts their lives is huge, absolutely huge, and it's such a privileged position for us that we're in. And yeah, at times, you know, whatever role you're in, whatever job, whatever life you have, it becomes a little bit. There's times where it's a little bit ticking off the days, you know, or ticking off for us the training sessions or the games, and but we got to find a way of appreciating what we have, because it's a fantastic football club with good people, and the supporters care an awful lot. So it's that keeps us pushing, and we want to give them something to repay them over the course of the season. And
you've committed now to stay a part of that for at least another 3 years. What are your hopes for the future now, having signed a new contract, and you know where you're going, you know what you're doing? What's your hopes?
We want to achieve something and have some real success. It's not easy, you know. We've seen that it's not an easy league to get out of. Different challenges that you face throughout the season, and but certainly to take the club forward, you know, we feel we've got a good foundation, and I want to feel a part of something and achieve something, and that feels that little bit more special. And when you've got to go through a little bit of, you got to get through the challenges and the ups and the downs, and actually it's worth it. It makes that success even sweeter, because we know how hard it'll be, and that's what we'll keep pushing for.